Okay, now we're going to write an equation without seeing the graph, okay? Yesterday you looked at a graph of a line, wrote an equation for it. Now you're going to write the equation without looking at the graph. There's two parts to this, okay? This is write an equation of a line with the given slope and solution. So what this means is xy, that means that's a point on the line. Like on the x-axis, you would be to the left 1 and then up 6, and that's one of the points, one of the many infinite points on the line, okay? And the line has a slope of 5. So you're going to construct your equation the same way as you would based off a graph. Y equals blank x plus blank mb. So we got to find the m and the b. Well, we know the m here because it's the slope. If they tell me the slope, that's your m. So m is 5. Easy enough. Now this is how you find b. You're going to write the same thing every time you have to find b without seeing a graph. You're going to write y equals m times x. Put a multiplication dot for the m and the x so you know the operation. Then a plus b. And we're going to be using that over and over and over. Okay, now I get rid of every letter, slash out every letter but the b, because we're going to put numbers in there. So the y is 6, the m is at 5 up there, and then I put a times dot because it's m times x, and the x is negative 1. So line up your equals, and you have 6. Now drop your plus operator down. Now we're actually going to bring b to the front, okay? Now what's behind it? It's whatever 5 times negative 1 is, okay? So 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. So then I make a wall, okay, and I just got to take out the negative 5. It's added, so we'd plus 5. So 11 equals b, okay. So there's your equation, y equals 5x plus 11. Here's why that works. Because if I plug this side of the equation into a calculator 5 times, and if I put negative 1 in for x and plus 11, I'll get 6, okay? It will match my y value. It does, so I know it's right. Okay, next one, 2 negative 3, slope of 7. Y equals blank x plus blank. So you got m and b. So m, b. So remember, if they tell me the slope, I have my m. My m is 7. Okay, then my b. Y equals m times x plus b. Okay, so m is 7, okay? And then the xy comes from over here, so negative 3 replaces the y, and then 2 replaces the x, so times 2. Okay, so I drop the plus sign, bring your b in front, because that's the letter you're solving for, and then plus what? Well, whatever 7 times 2 is. 7 times 2 is 14. Okay, then we minus 14, minus 14. Negative 3 minus 14 is negative 17. Okay, so the y-intercept b is negative 17. Now, you can always check your answer if you take 7 times whatever x is over here, which is 2, and add your negative 17. When we click equals, the output should be negative 3. There you go. Which it is. Okay, next one. Negative 8, 1, slope equals negative 3/4. B. Okay, so my slope is negative 3/4. And then the y-intercept is y equals m times x plus b. So my m is negative 3/4, okay? Then this is x, this is y, so y is 1, and x is negative 8. Plus, put your b in front. Now I find that product probably on a calculator. Negative 3/4 times negative 8, it's 6. Okay, now you take out your 6 by minusing 6. And then 1 minus 6 is negative 5. Okay, so negative 5 is your answer. If you want to check your answer, you take negative 3, ABC 4 times, and your x is your input, negative 8, plus negative 5. And when I click equals, my output should equal 1. It does. Okay. Okay, next problem, 8, negative 4, slope of negative 3. So y equals blank x plus blank m b. Okay, so I got to find my m and my b. So my slope is my m, and that's negative 3. Then b, y equals m times x plus b. So m is negative 3. Okay. So y is negative 4, and then x is 8. So drop your plus, you got b. So then negative 3 times 8 is negative 24. So we plus 24, plus 24. Negative 4 plus 24 is 20. Okay, so 20 equals b. Okay, if you want to do your input-output test, you can go negative 3 times, then put in 8 for x, plus 20. I got negative 4 as my output. Okay, now, if you want to pause the video and do 1 through 4, that's fine. Okay, and then resume it for the rest of it. Okay, now, write an equation of the line with the following solutions, 4, 7, and 5, 1. Now it just gives me 2 points. They don't tell me the slope. So if I go right 4 up 7, that point's on the line. If I go right 5 up 1, that point's on the line. So it's abstract, definitely. So y equals blank x plus blank. Now the only difference is we have to find our m. We don't have our slope. Well, to find m, we use y minus y, x minus x. You got to get the right points. X, y, x, y. So I set up my minus over minus. Now, you want to here you want to put the coordinate that's got the higher x. 4 and 5, that's my higher x, 5. So I put 1 over 5. The y has to go on top. Then over here, 7 and 4. So 1 minus 7 is negative 6. 5 minus 4 is 1. Now just divide those today. We're not graphing it, so just divide it. It's negative 6. Okay, and then the b is the same thing. Y equals m times x plus b. So m is negative 6. And then for x and y, you go with either one. It doesn't matter what you use for x and y. I'll pick this one. I'll pick the second one every time. You can pick the first one if you want. You'll get the same answer. Okay, so 1 is y, and then 5 is x. B, negative 6 times 5 is negative 30. And you take out your negative 30 by adding 30. That's going to be 31. 31 equals b. So put it up there, and there's your answer. Okay, so if you want to do an input test, pick negative 6 and pick one of your x's. I'll pick 5. And then plus 31. The output should be 1. Okay, it is. Now if I would pick 4 for my input test and plus 31, I would get 7. Okay. Next one, 0, 6, and 5, 2. So xy, xy. Okay, so your m, y minus y, x minus x. Okay, so I compare 0 with 5. Okay, so 5 is higher, so we start there. So it's 2 over 5, always the y over the x. Then 6, 0. Again, if you're wondering, how do you know which one to put first? The one with the higher x value. Okay. The one with the higher x value I put in first. Then put in the other one, 6 and 0. So 2 minus 6 is negative 4, 5 minus 0 is 5. Now you can reduce that as a fraction, or you can just divide it into a decimal. It doesn't matter to me because we're not graphing it, okay? Negative 0.8. B, y equals m times x plus b. So the m is negative 0.8, okay? Then y is 2. The only time I leave it as a fraction is if I have to graph it, which I'm not doing, okay? If I had to graph this, I'd leave it negative 4/5 because it's down 4 over 5, but I'm not. Then I'll use 5 for x. So 2, put your b plus, and then take negative 0.8 times 5. It's negative 4. Okay, so negative 4, we'd add 4. Add 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 equals b. Okay, if you want to do an input test, go negative 0.8 times, we'll pick 5 for x, and then plus 6. It's 2, just like the output says it is. Y is the output. Okay, negative 2, 5, and 2, negative 1. So xy, xy. So y minus y, x minus x. So x, 2 is bigger than negative 2, so that's your starting. So put a negative 1 over 2, and then a 5 over a negative 2. Now, negative 1 minus 5 is negative 6. Minus negative, I make that plus plus, and then 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay. So since I'm not graphing, I'm just going to divide it instead of reducing it as a fraction. So negative 1.5. Okay. Then b. But if I have to graph, I want to leave it as a fraction, but I don't have to. Okay, so y is negative 1. M is the negative 1.5. And then for x, I'll pick the 2. So plus, you pick b, then I pick negative 1.5 times 2, I got negative 3. Take out your negative 3 by adding 3. That's 2. 2 equals b. Okay, negative 4, negative 8, negative 8, negative 11. Okay. So, m, b. So, m I don't know, so I apply y minus y, x minus x. So, xy, xy. Okay. So my starting point, negative 4, negative 8. When we have two negatives, the smaller negative is bigger. Okay, so negative 8 over negative 4. Then negative 11 over negative 8. Both those would go, that would go plus plus, so negative 8 plus 11 is 3. Negative 4 plus 8 is 4. Okay, you can leave it 3/4 because you have an ABC, or you can divide it 0.75. If you want to use fractions, you can. Okay, the graph you kind of have to, but we're not graphing. So y equals m times x plus b. So the m is the 0.75. For y and x, I can go here or here. It doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'll just use the second one. So negative 11 is my y value, and then negative 8 is my x value. So plus you put b. Now I take 0.75 times negative 8, you get negative 6. So add 6, negative 11 plus 6, negative 5. Take 0.75 times, I'll use -8, then plus -5. Okay, -11.